All right, welcome to the 37th edition of the Sports Mashup here on November 10th, 2021. As we have a lot to get into, we'll start in the NBA as we usually do. All the sports kind of going all at once now, except for baseball, which I'm sure we'll see a work stoppage for that, but who cares? Okay, NBA, Ben Simmons. This thing is still going on, the Ben Simmons thing. He hasn't played a game yet. He is still not mentally prepared to play or whatever. I don't understand the whole thing. It appears the 76ers and Celtics are talking about it, and Ben Simmons would be interested in going to Boston. Of course, how much sense does this actually make? I don't know.
I wonder if this happened pre or post Jaylen Brown getting hurt again.
Yeah, I do. I wonder that as well. I feel like it was probably post, to be honest. I think that's kind of.
He hurt his hamstring, so who knows how long he'll be out. So are they just trying to fill a void? But they'll have to take on his entire contract, right?
Yeah, and I'm wondering how much Boston actually wants to give up. Because number one, you're giving it up to an Eastern Conference rival. And number two, how much do you actually have that you actually want to give up? Like, I think there's some dead weight in Boston.
Wouldn't this be one of the biggest moves, or it would be the biggest move that Brad Stevens has made?
Probably. I mean, I don't really think he's made very many big moves to this point, so I would think so, yeah. I don't see any new additions on that team where I'm like, that's a huge splash move. I mean, Dennis Schroeder, I believe is how you pronounce his name, even though it doesn't look like that. He's there. That's a pretty nice addition. But other than that, yeah, it's a risky move, but we'll see.
Yeah, and then you had Jokic get a one-game suspension for a shove on Marquise Morris, which, I mean, was a blatant cheap shot. I don't know how they both got thrown out of that game.
Yeah, I also saw that Morris got fined as well, which...
Like, he fouled him, yeah.
I mean...
And then Jokic came and shoved him in the back, and then they both got ejected from the game.
You remember Jokic getting thrown out in the playoffs against Phoenix last season when he swiped Cameron Payne in the face? I mean, maybe he should be kicked out of the league at this point, right? I mean, geez.
Jimmy Butler also got a fine and all that.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, I don't think he's going to be doing that once he sees Jokic's brothers.
Yeah, and their fake Twitter account they made.
Yeah, I don't think that Jimmy Butler is going to be doing all of what he was doing if he sees them.
And also, this is the first or the second MVP to get suspended after getting the MVP honor. The first was in 2008. It was Dirk.
So you never expect it, but it happens, I guess.
No, the big foreign guys, don't mess with them.
I guess not, yeah.
And then last night, Steph Curry dropped 50 with 10 assists as the Warriors go to 9-1.
Yeah, it turns out Steph Curry's still good, huh? I mean, this is probably his most impressive season yet to this point because he's not playing with a ton of talent like he has in the past. He's not playing with Klay Thompson right now, and he's just dominating.
Yeah, and they're definitely the best team in the West at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt there. They're the most healthy as well.
Yeah, and once they get Klay back, that's just another weapon.
Yep.
And then tonight you have the battle of the top two picks, Houston and Detroit.
I'm picking this game.
Detroit's 1-8. Houston's 1-9.
All over this game. Jalen Green, Cade Cunningham. Woo. Big time ratings. Yep, I think it's on ESPN 2 or ESPN or something like that.
Well, of course, they're going to televise it with a number 1 and 2 pick playing.
And you'll get to see a combined 2 and 17 go head to head. That'll be exciting.
Lastly, I don't know if this is a joke or where this came from.
Oh, it's real.
Well, I know it's real, but I just don't know how these two got paired together. You have former Illini baller, NBA player Darren Williams to fight the Iron Man of the NFL running back game, Frank Gore, on the next Jake Paul fight card.
So stupid. I mean, I don't understand the point of this. I also have no interest in it. So,
no, I did tell my softball team because they were saying Darren Williams was going to beat him up.
No.
I said, I'll put money right now on Frank Gore.
Yeah, I wouldn't fight. I wouldn't fight Frank Gore. I don't
The
think
dude was a running back in the NFL for how many years?
100, pretty much.
And never seemed to age.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm taking Frank
Give me
all
Frank
day.
Gore. Maybe we should pick that when there's odds on it.
Yeah, when's
All
that
right.
even supposed to take place?
Yeah, I don't know. I never looked at that. Got to think soon since it was announced. I don't know. I don't think that there's a big gap between the announcement and when it actually happens.
Because Jake Paul's fighting like Fury's brother, right?
I guess, yeah. I just saw the name and I figured it was Tyson Fury's brother, which who knows how that's going to go. But all right, let's go to the league.
Before I did see that Mike Tyson said he wants to fight both brothers.
Why not? I think he could still do some damage.
And he wants to do it in the same night. He wants to fight Logan first and then Jake.
He could do it.
Logan's agent told him not to do it because he thinks that Jake would get destroyed, or he thinks Logan will get destroyed.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. I mean, who the hell wants to fight Mike Tyson? But I don't know. Let's go to the league that Frank Gore played in, which is the NFL. Thursday Night Football last week. Mike White gets hurt. The Colts win 45-30. Jonathan Taylor had a huge game. Josh Johnson came in for the Jets, looked pretty good at quarterback, but the Jets almost had a backdoor cover there, which I think we both took the Jets plus 10.5, and they almost had a backdoor.
And I'm really glad I talked myself out of taking Mike White with Aaron Rodgers being out in fantasy after you tried convincing me to pick up Mike White.
I mean, he still put up over 7 points before he went down.
I wasn't able to watch any of this. I had a bags tournament, and then I came downstairs right towards the end of the game, and I was surprised at what the score was.
Yeah, the Jets let that one slip away.
And not the difference, just that there were 75 combined points.
Yeah, you don't see that in the NFL very often anymore at this point.
I thought this might have been like 21-14 or 21-10, somewhere in there.
The Jets defense is so young and so injured that they're just horrible. No chance to do anything. But yeah, almost a backdoor cover. The Jets were down 15 inside the 10, and then Josh Johnson threw a pick. And if they would have gotten a touchdown, they would have lost by 8 or 9. So it is what it is. The Josh Allen versus Josh Allen game. The Jaguars beat the Bills 9-6. The Jaguars' Josh Allen, the linebacker who was the top 10 pick, had a sack, a fumble recovery, and an interception. He recovered a fumble from Josh Allen. He intercepted Josh Allen, and then he sacked Josh Allen. So Jaguars' Josh Allen with a clean sweep in the Josh Allen versus Josh Allen game.
And you said that the Texans Dolphin game was a snooze fest. I think this might have been worse.
Well, the only thing that came out of this game was the Josh Allen thing.
Well, and the fact that the Jags beat the Bills.
Yeah, I always thought the Bills – I still think the Bills are good, and I still think they're one of the best teams in the AFC, but don't you think they're a little overrated? I mean, they're 5-3. Most of their wins are over horrendous teams. Their best win is against the Chiefs when the Chiefs were at their worst.
But you can't beat the
Texans and Washington and Miami, and then lose to Jacksonville.
And Josh Allen was the preseason favorite to win the MVP?
He's still the favorite to win MVP right now, by the way, which makes zero sense.
No.
It should be Lamar Jackson or Brady or someone like that. But it is what it is.
Joe Burrow's having a better season than some of those quarterbacks you just named.
Yeah, I mean, Burrow's struggling, though, at this point.
He throws a pick about every week, but
he threw a pick 6 on the first drive against Cleveland, which kind of blew that game.
To his former college teammate.
Denzel Ward, yeah.
Trying to throw to his future former college teammate.
Yeah, I feel like the Bengals are maybe trying to force it a little bit too much now to Jamar Chase. Like, they have way too many weapons to be doing that.
Yeah, Boyd has only gotten like 3 targets in the last 3 weeks.
And they have T. Higgins.
He at least gets targets.
Yeah.
And Uzoma.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, on that game, the Browns won 41-16. First game without Odell Beckham Jr. and the Browns take care of business. I mean, I thought they would win. I didn't think they'd win in this fashion, which was an absolute blowout. But we'll see if the Browns are better now.
Mixon closed the gap on between him and Derrick Henry and rush yards on the season. I mean, that's the only way Mixon's going to catch up is the longer he's out.
Yeah, I think
which surprised me, though, that Mixon was number 2 in yards before this past week.
He's had a big season. He produces in like every game, so he's had a big one. I mean, the slate this weekend and the results made no sense. And this is another one. The Broncos beat the Cowboys 30-16. It wasn't even that close. They had a couple garbage time touchdowns. Dak Prescott looked terrible. You had a couple of SHG products, local kids from where we're from. Alberto for the Broncos, Malik Turner, who had 2 touchdowns for the Cowboys. But
and a block punt.
Yeah, I still don't understand the Broncos. And that block punt play was insane. Like, the rule there, that makes no sense to me. You block the punt, and then the Cowboys touch it again. Then it goes past line of scrimmage. The Broncos get it, which I guess that negates the 4th down.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
1st and 10.
Yeah, but I don't understand the Broncos at all. Like, are they good? Are they not good? I mean, I still am not really
on the Denver train.
I'm still not a believer in Teddy Bridgewater long term.
They lose Von Miller, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just beat the Cowboys."
Yeah, they'll probably come back down to earth this week, but we'll see. I mean, you never know.
After week 1, when they played the Bucs so good, everyone's like, "Oh, Cowboys."
Yeah, they looked pretty good until they didn't. I mean, everyone's got to remember that Mike McCarthy's still the coach there, and he tends to mess things up.
They couldn't get the run game going.
The 2 4th downs that they didn't get early in that game kind of ruined it. Like, they had 4th and 1, they go for it, they don't get it. Next drive, 4th and 1, they're in field goal range this time. Just take the points. They don't get that one. So
I think Bridgewater's getting a lot more of his receivers back healthier. I think KJ Hamler's back. Judy.
Yeah,
I think
they got
Noah
Fant's
back.
Alberto. They got some guys there. The next game is the number 1 overall pick battle, which the Texans are really starting to pull away. They beat the Dolphins, or they lost to the Dolphins 17-9. I don't know why it says 19 there. But, Tua didn't play in this game. Jacoby Brissett started. Tyrod Taylor was back. He threw 3 interceptions. I don't really want to talk about this game. It was completely boring. The real question is, if the Texans get the number 1 pick, do they draft a quarterback? I would think that they shouldn't, because they're going to have other premium picks. Why not take Kayvon Thibodeau, number 1?
And there's got to be someone in the free agent pool.
Yeah, there will be guys. I mean, Trubisky, I think, is the guy that maybe you look at just to see if he's got anything. Darnold's going to be available, even though Darnold looks terrible.
Cam
Newton's still out there. Phillip Rivers, if you really want to try to pull him out of retirement, why not,
Yeah, I don't think he's going to Miami.
Yeah, I doubt it. Okay. The Falcons, they come back. Well, they didn't really come back. They were winning this game for the most part. They beat the Saints 27-25. Not a great game for the Saints. Really a game they should have probably won. But either way.
Simeon looked horrible in the first half.
Yeah. That's just not a very good team. Like, the Saints defense is pretty good, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
I thought the run game would be better, bringing Mark Ingram back, so then you have Kamara and Ingram again.
I wonder if the Saints get what's his name? I was thinking of somebody and I forgot his name. But I wonder if the Saints stick with Simeon the entire time. Like, do you think they try to do something else? Do they throw Taysom Hill in there?
Well, I think he was questionable return last week, so
I wonder how long Simeon lasts as a starter there. And if
were you thinking maybe them signing somebody to play quarterback?
Not really. I was thinking I don't even know what I was thinking about, honestly. I think I just had like a
getting Michael Thomas back at some point, signing OBJ.
They are in the talks for OBJ, but the thing with that is, does he really want to go play with Trevor Simeon? I mean, he's played his career with mediocre quarterback play. So go to Green Bay.
He had Eli to start.
Eli wasn't very good then, though. Go play with a Hall of Famer, dude.
Speaking of Eli, then you had the Giants beat the Raiders 23-16.
Yeah, Daniel Jones has like 110 yards in this game, and they still won. The Raiders, they were gonna get caught up. Like the Raiders, they were gonna get caught.
Well, yeah, they just lost 2 receivers.
Both of their first-round picks from last season are now gone. Outside of Carr, Jacobs, and Waller, they don't really have very much on offense.
Hunter Renfrow.
He is, good. That is true.
He had a touchdown.
He did his job. But Carr threw a pick 6 that really set the tone. The Pats defense embarrassed Sam Darnold in what could be his last game of the season for the Panthers.
This was a close game for the longest time until he decided to throw 3 picks in the second half.
Yep. Now it's 24-6 final.
And the one was an 88-yard pick 6.
Yeah, it wasn't good, I would say.
It was good for my fantasy team.
I have the Patriots defense as well, so that was good. Close game in the Chargers-Eagles matchup, 27-24. The Chargers beat the Eagles. Herbert was absolutely phenomenal. I think he threw, 6 incompletions, 356 yards. Huge game for him. And then the Vikings choked again. The Vikings following the script. They take a lead. They blow it. They lose in overtime to the Ravens, 34-31.
But with Herbert, if he could just maintain, not like to only have 6 incompletions, but some type of normalcy instead of the teeter-totter that he plays with. One week he'll have it, he'll play good. The next week, it's like, who's this guy we drafted?
Yeah, I think that's still like a year away from him being that consistent, dominant quarterback.
Or like you called the Patriots beating the Chargers due to what they did to Herbert the year before, and then he has a horrible game.
Yeah, inconsistency still, but it takes time. He was just thrown in there last season, and we'll see.
Talking about throwing in there.
Yeah, Jordan Love and the Packers lose 13-7 to the Chiefs. Here's the thing. I don't know what people expect Jordan Love to do when Spagnuolo is throwing 7 or 8 blitzers on every play. Like, the Packers were not prepared for that, which is not a good look, but their line didn't play well in general. Their defense was great. Their special teams was terrible. I mean, the special teams is the main reason they lost this game.
No,
not Jordan Love, not the offensive line.
You couldn't practice with Adams all week.
Yep.
So
probably one day with him.
Their timing was all off.
And then there was at least 10 throws that Love made where he just had to get rid of it and throw it somewhere and see what happens because there was people in his face.
Yeah, the one he threw to Randall Cobb that he never should have thrown on like a 3rd and 19 or something.
Yeah. Then you had the interception that he threw. He just had to chuck that up. And if he throws it a little lower, it's probably caught.
This is who I picked up for fantasy. Thank God he threw that late touchdown.
Yeah, that helped for sure. And if they would have gotten the ball back, I feel like they may have been able to score again. I don't know.
And then with this game, you had the Packers got fined $300,000.
Yep.
And Rodgers and Lazard got fined like $14,000 because they were they weren't following COVID protocols for being unvaccinated. They were at a Halloween party, and they're not supposed to be in more than a group of 3. Nor are they wearing masks during their press conferences or in the team.
That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't understand with the press conference thing. Kirk Cousins wasn't wearing one either in his press conferences, and he's unvaccinated. So that's one thing I don't get. Like, there's other quarterbacks who are doing in-person press conferences who aren't vaccinated, not wearing a mask. But Rodgers is the one who gets fined here. I don't understand that because I feel like the league had an understanding I think there's a report that said the league said you don't have to wear a mask if you're unvaccinated during a press conference that's in person. It's kind of like an understanding. Like, it was an original rule, but they didn't enforce it. but now they're fining somebody for not doing it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Now they have to do it, so they did re-implement that rule, and you have to do it. But
And
I don't know. It's weird.
They'll have to wear masks during or while they're in the team facility.
Yeah. Which I think the Packers, I think Rodgers did follow that for the most part. I think the things he really got fined for was the Halloween party and the press conference thing. So,
but yeah, these guys, Rodgers could return to play Sunday. He would have to come out of COVID on Saturday, which I don't know if he has to have 2 negative tests like on Saturday or how that works.
I don't think he has to test again. I think if you have, if you test positive, you have like a 90-day
10-day
window. Well, it's a 90-day window where you don't have to test in the NFL's protocols. So I don't think he has to test.
But he just had a 10-day quarantine.
Yeah, I think it'll be like an 80-20 that he plays.
And it just happened to come out on like a Tuesday or something. So then it would end on or Wednesday. So it would end on a Saturday so he could play again the next week.
Well, I'll take it any way I can get it. The Cardinals.
I will take him back as my fantasy quarterback.
Yeah. The Cardinals, without Kyler Murray, without DeAndre Hopkins, go into Santa Clara. They beat the Niners 31-17. An impressive win. Colt McCoy slinging the rock, and a win for the Cardinals. So they're 8-1.
Like, that's who the guy I was playing against. He had Kyler Murray. Picked up Tyrod Taylor fantasy. I'm like, yes, do it. Last second, he changes to Colt McCoy. Luckily, I have Ertz and James Conner. I mean, and the one touchdown he throws is to James Conner.
You talk about flipping the narrative on a coach. Cliff Kingsbury and Kyle Shanahan completely switched in that game. Shanahan doesn't look as good. Kingsbury's like everybody's into him now. So it's kind of changed things a lot. But the other 2 primetime games, the Titans defense dominated, 2 interceptions of Stafford, 28-16 win in Inglewood over the Rams. The Titans 7-2.
Which started out thinking that the Rams were going to blow them out with Ramsey getting a pick on the first possession.
Yeah, and then Stafford pulling a Carson Wentz out of his own end zone on that horrible interception.
Yeah, I don't think that happens 2 weeks in a row that the Rams look that bad. I think also that Von Miller will play next week.
Yeah, they play the Niners on Monday Night Football in the next game.
I don't think he's missing that one.
I agree. Monday Night Football was a complete ref show. The Steelers beat the Bears 29-27. The Bears did get hosed in this game. They took a lot of stupid penalties that were their fault, but they also took a lot of really dumb penalties, like the taunting penalty.
They had Santos kick a 65-yarder to try to win that.
And the deceptiveness of the camera made it look like it hit the crossbar, but it actually hit in the front of the end zone. So it wasn't close.
Oh.
I don't think anybody's going to hit from 65 in Hines.
That one flag or whatever, I forgot the guy's name. Chase, is that his last name?
The taunting one, Cassius
March. He said that the ref like hip checked him as he went by, like he stuck out his hip. I mean,
I don't like
video. It's hard to judge it because you can't tell because it's kind of at an angle. It's not like it's down the field line, so you can't actually see if he stuck it out or if the linebacker ran into him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I just don't like the ref shows too involved.
And also, I didn't see this game. I just saw the replay of that.
Yeah, there's a whole big controversy with it, but Justin Fields did look very good. So that's something the Bears fans will take away from that. So there you go. Week 9 awards.
Did he get a taunting foul in this game?
I don't think he did.
Because I saw a meme talking about him trying to be rookie of the year or something, and it said the former MVP can come into their house and say he owns them and do the discount double check, but he can't sit there and look at the opposing bench from 25 yards away without getting a flag.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
So I don't know if that was what they were talking about the other dude, March, doing it and getting the flag.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see that. The Week 9 awards in the NFL. The NFC Offensive Player of the Week, Matt Ryan. The Defensive Player of the Week, Xavier McKinney, had that pick six for the Giants of Derek Carr. And then I don't really want to try to pronounce this name. The Special Teams Player of the Week for the Vikings, Kene Nwangu, something like that.
I guess that's Wangu.
And then AFC, Herbert was the Offensive Player of the Week. Josh Allen of the Jaguars with a dominant performance, Defensive Player of the Week. And Tommy Townsend, who literally pinned the Packers inside their own 10 about 52 times on Sunday for
that
the
dude's
Chiefs.
got a boom.
Yeah, he completely – I think that was another big reason why the Packers offense couldn't get anything going was that.
And
so
I want to go back, I don't know, after this episode and see how many Giants always keep getting the Defensive Player of the Week.
I feel like each category they have somebody every week. Like Graham Gano's won it a couple times, special teams.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe there's a bias. We don't know. NFL division leaders after 9 weeks. The NFC, Cowboys, Packers, Bucks, Cardinals. AFC, Bills, Ravens, Titans, Chargers are the leaders in the division.
Yeah, and then the Panthers come out and say Sam Darnold has a fractured shoulder.
He's going to be out for a while.
Or sorry, a shoulder fracture.
So they're going to have P.J. Walker, and then Matt Barkley is going to be signed to the practice squad there. I wonder if they should bring in Blake Bortles.
Well, he's probably still right now signed.
They're going to get rid of him again. They're going to get rid of him again.
But Barkley's been there before, right? Wasn't he Cam's backup?
Maybe. I don't remember. I only think of him as like Arizona.
I'm pretty sure he was.
That sounds right. But it's a different, system, I think, now. But.
Well, yeah. But, and then also Odell clears waivers, able to sign with any team. Thoughts on his landing spot?
Well,
I know he has came out and said that he would like to go to Seattle, and they have the cap space, or they could have got him at the $7 million, but now they can get him for way cheaper because he said he'll take the veterans minimum.
It sure seems like Seattle is not going to happen at this point from all the reporting that I see.
No, but if that did, Russell Wilson's wide receiver room just got that much better with him, Lockett, and DK. After what's his name retired way too early.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean,
who's the receiver I'm thinking about Seattle had that retired?
Jermaine Kearse.
No.
Doug Baldwin.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
He retired early.
Yeah. So the most recent tweet from a reporter that I see is really the narrative being driven here is that Odell wants to go to Green Bay and Green Bay is interested in Odell. And that's kind of the narrative with every good player that's a free agent. It actually never happened, so I'm kind of ready to be let down in that sense. But
well, if he goes there, what receiver do they put to the practice squad?
Equinemius St. Brown, probably.
That's who I had in mind. Who's their speedster again?
Valdez-Scantling?
Yeah, the law office.
Yeah, this would really change the dynamic of the Packers offense, and it would really probably do wonders for Devontae Adams. And it makes a lot of sense. I don't know why Odell wouldn't want to do this because he's making money from Cleveland. The Packers have it says that the Packers have officially submitted a minimum offer sheet to Odell Beckham Jr. Now we wait to see if OBJ gets a better offer elsewhere, which I think he would get a better offer elsewhere, but then it's going to come down to whether he actually wants to come here that badly or not. Chiefs, Saints, and Patriots also in the mix, apparently.
And one team I'm surprised that hasn't been said, not that I want him there, is Tampa after last year when there were trade talks, whatever, and they were trying to get him to come to Tampa because how Brady, they always said they want to play together and blah, 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 before they signed Antonio Brown. I'm like, with Antonio Brown hurt, I'm surprised this hasn't came into discussion.
Well, they did was it the Bucs that picked up Brashad Perriman yesterday? Yeah. They got Brashad Perriman on the practice squad, so get him back in there and go for it.
Which I don't know why you signed. They already have 8 receivers.
I need Odell Beckham Jr. to be the Packers' Antonio Brown from what Antonio Brown did for the Bucs last season. I need Odell to come in and do that because it's the same. It's not the exact same situation. You don't want him to come in and be
a little Scooter.
No,
Scooty Miller.
No, we don't need a Scotty Miller. We need an Antonio Brown type.
And remember that shot you took at me about Illinois and Penn State? There's my shot back.
That's fair. But the Packers have a lot of receivers, but why not add another? I feel like
what teams you say again?
Chiefs, Saints, Patriots, Packers.
Jesus.
If he wants to go to a real contender, then Green Bay is easily the most contending team out of that group.
Unless he's thinking long term.
He should be thinking 1-year deal. Go try to get a ring.
I'm just I think his best options are Green Bay or Seattle.
Even Seattle's like what? What's Seattle's record right now?
No, that's what I'm saying. That would be more of a long-term thing. Like he's getting in the door, gonna probably try balling out the rest of the season and then get a contract with Seattle. Green Bay's his best this year unless he goes to the Chiefs and their whole offense totally changes.
That could happen. But I'm just ready to be let down.
Then he's basically going there to try filling Sammy Watkins' role that's vacant.
Yeah, it's always, the Packers are like Stephon Gilmore. Oh, Stephon Gilmore wants to go to Green Bay. This happens with everybody. So it's
speaking of him, though, he gets to go against New England last week.
Yeah.
Gets a pick.
Got a pick. There you go. Didn't win the game, but he got his job done. So you got to
That's because his quarterback's garbage.
Yeah, not good. All right, let's do some golf.
He had the Worldwide Technology Championship last week. The winner, Victor Hovland, back-to-back winner at this tournament. 1.3 million, shot 23 under, which I think the next closest golfer, I don't know the next one, third was 18 under. I think second might have been 19 or 20.
Hovland is the first, what I read on Twitter, the first player to successfully defend a title since Koepka at the PGA Championship in 2019. So he wins it back-to-back years.
This week you have the Houston Open. Defending champion Carlos Ortiz, Memorial Park Golf Course in Houston, Texas.
You got some good names playing in this one as well, so it should be an interesting tournament, and we'll make our picks later.
I'm still ready to get the full swing of everyone back.
Yeah, it'll happen in a couple months. It'll be good. But let's do some quick college basketball hitters.
Yeah, the State Farm Classic did not disappoint. Kansas beat Michigan State from the tip.
Not surprising. They're much better.
What's their big guy's name?
Kansas?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Big man.
He scored 30.
Yeah, I didn't watch much of this game. I just know that it's not surprising that they
29.
David McCormick, yeah.
No.
Oche Agbaji.
Yeah. Had his best game of his career.
And they didn't have Jalen Wilson in this game either, and they still got it done, which isn't surprising.
No, they won by what?
7? Was it?
I thought it was more than that. I think the Duke game was 7.
I think Michigan State made it closer at the end. Oh, it was 81-74, and then they scored 6 more, so it was 13.
And then the Duke was 89-82, which Duke battling Kentucky, pulling away in the second half, and just kept. They'd get up 9 and go down to 5. Next thing you're back to 9, back to 5. Back to 9, won by 7, I believe.
Yeah, I kind of knew that this would kind of be how this game would go. I didn't really understand Kentucky being ranked 10th to begin with. I think there's a lot more questions with Kentucky than Duke, and I think Duke is just right now. Duke is better. Could that change? Yes.
Them losing to 9 at 10, unless other teams in the teens lose, I don't see Kentucky dropping very far, even though they should.
No, I don't think that they would. I didn't understand them being ranked that highly anyway. But
at the least, at the most, they dropped to 13th unless the teens all win.
Yeah. So it looks like Duke has some legitimate freshmen, a little bit different from last season. Banchero's a stud. Keels looked really good. So I
Heel
think that
mode,
they're going to be very good.
yeah. Wendell Moore taking his leadership role. Joey Baker's kind of opened up his game. And the
Wendell
big
Moore,
guys,
much different player than he was last season.
Williams, he didn't play much last year. He started playing very well in the ACC and March Madness. And then they got who's that dude they got from DePaul or whatever, the transfer, Marquette?
Theo John.
Yeah, he played pretty good. Kind of looks like the Predator a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Duke's going to be good again. They weren't that great last season. I think a lot of that was due to the freshmen not being very good, but I think that's a completely different team. They have a freshman who's going to
Even
be
watching
probably
a
the
video
best in the
too,
country.
those freshmen never were on campus.
Yeah, that's a problem for sure.
That's like
Definitely
these freshmen, they came in early in the summer and took a summer school class and everything to be able to be on campus.
Yeah, they had the time, and that obviously matters if you look at last season. So definitely has an effect on
And you had Jalen Johnson leave mid-season.
Yeah, that didn't work.
But Coach K's last season is going to be a way better season than last year.
Yeah, and especially since the roster is much more improved, because you got returning players who are going to be better.
Yeah,
that helps. And by the way, Virginia lost to Navy last night, so that was kind of a big, interesting game. Virginia completely overrated anyway. They should have never been ranked, but
Gonzaga won by like 28.
Yeah, other team. I mean, not Michigan State. Ohio State had to get a buzzer beater to beat Akron at home.
I thought Akron was winning that.
Yeah, that was tough. You hit the three at the within the last 5 seconds. Akron hits a 3 and 1. They go up by 1 and then they lose.
Yeah, with 3 seconds left, that seemed like the longest 3 seconds for Ohio State to run that play they had.
Yeah.
Like at first, when they showed the replay, I'm like, the time clock guy at Ohio State, did he like wait a little bit to click that thing to start?
Probably, yeah.
No, I watched. As soon as it got caught it, it's when it started.
Who knows? I mean, that's usually how those games end. But it was a very interesting night, and the game should get even better as we go on. So let's go to Major League Baseball.
Yeah, you got 5 Cardinals get Gold Gloves.
5 for 9.
O'Neill, Goldie, Edman, Arenado, and Bader. First time in MLB history, 5 guys on one team got it.
That's pretty good. Good defense. Definitely changed the dynamic of the defense. Did the former manager, who is a finalist for Manager of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, you had the corners, second baseman, right fielder, or left fielder, and center fielder. Do you know who got right field, short, pitcher?
Shortstop was Crawford. Catcher was Stallings. Pitcher, I don't remember. Right field, I don't remember.
And then, was it Newbar was a finalist for Rookie of the Year or
Carlson.
Something? Oh, Carlson was.
Yeah.
Newbar probably didn't have enough games or bats.
Yeah. So,
and then,
right fielder in the NL was Adam Duvall.
So no Dodgers, though.
No. Pitcher was Max Fried.
And he's from the Braves, right?
Yep.
And then what was the AL?
Correa was at short. I know that. Pitcher was Dallas Keuchel. Catcher was Sean Murphy from the A's. Right field, Joey Gallo. Michael A. Taylor for the Royals in center. Andrew Benintendi for the Royals in left. As I said, Correa at short. Matt Chapman obviously at third. Simeon for the Blue Jays at second. Yuli Gurriel for the Astros at first. And the catcher, I already mentioned, right? Yeah, Sean Murphy. Yeah. There you go. Schilt, Manager of the Year finalist?
Yeah, even though he's fired, he's in the final 3 for the Manager of the Year.
So it's him, Kapler, and Council, right? Are those the 3?
I think so.
Here's what I don't understand. Number one, Schilt took a team that was supposed to win the division, and they did worse and got the wild card. And the only reason they got the wild card was because of some insane winning streak. So how is he a finalist? That makes no sense to me. Number two, did Brian Snitker, I know the playoffs don't count, but did he not take the Braves to a division title with Acuna missing half of the season and Soroka missing the entire season? Makes no sense to me that Snitker wasn't the third over Schilt.
And then what role does Ron Washington have there?
Third base coach, I believe.
Kapler's
going to win it, obviously, because he won 107 games with the Giants. But...
And then Ohtani is an MVP candidate or finalist. I don't know who the others are.
I'm assuming Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is one of them. I can't think of who the third one would be. I don't know. The awards will come out. We'll probably go over them next week or whenever they do come out. But the Dodgers made some headlines as they gave Andrew Heaney 1 year, $8.5 million. They assume that he's going to be like Robbie Ray was for the Blue Jays. Which, have you seen Andrew Heaney pitch? I don't think that's the guy that warrants $8.5 million. He was horrendous for the Yankees after the trade last season. So maybe this is their Kershaw replacement since Kershaw didn't get the qualifying offer. Even though I know there's a report out there that said they want to re-sign Kershaw, but they didn't give him the qualifying offer, which means they want to get him, but not for $18 million.
I mean, do you think he's worth that? He keeps getting hurt.
Not really, but I don't see how there's much risk in that for the Dodgers, who have a ton of money. I don't know. Maybe he'll sign a little hometown discount or whatever. This trade finally happened in the NHL. Vegas Golden Knights acquired Jack Eichel and a 2023 third-round pick for Peyton Krebs, who was a first-round pick from I think it was the 2019 draft. And then you had Alex Tuck, who is a upstate New York native, who was a Minnesota draft pick, and then he ends up in Vegas, had a couple good seasons. A conditional 2022 first-round pick and a 2023 second-round pick. Eichel will have the disc surgery that he wanted all along on Friday, and he could return in March or before for the Golden Knights. So Vegas is dealing with a ton of injuries right now, but once they're fully healthy, they're going to be very, very good.
Yeah, that top line.
Pretty good, yeah.
Who's their top line going to be? Eichel.
Well, you would think Eichel and Stone and Pacioretty would be my guess, and then your second line would be Carlson, Marchessault, and who's the third on that? I forgot that line already. Carlson, Marchessault.
I mean, Eichel's going to bump somebody down.
Yeah, I mean, Carlson will probably get bumped to the second line center. I guess Tuck would have been on that line before, but he's not because he's gone now. So I don't know. Vegas is loaded, though. And their defense is healthy. They just need their goaltending to hold up. Leonard doesn't have much behind him, so I think he's going to get a lot of minutes this season, which might not be beneficial for him. But Vegas will be a team to beat, no doubt.
And then college football, the new AP poll, Georgia, Cincinnati, Alabama, Oklahoma all stay put. Oregon up 2-5. Ohio State stays at 6. Notre Dame up 1-7. Michigan State goes down to 3. Michigan's at 9. Oklahoma State jumps 1-10. A&M up 2-11. Ole Miss up 3-12. Wake Forest drops 3-13 after losing to North Carolina, right?
Wake Forest, yeah.
14 is BYU. They move up 3 spots. UTSA moves up 1-15. Auburn goes down 4-16. Houston up 3-17. Baylor down 4-18. Iowa stays put at 19. Wisconsin jumps to number 20 after being not ranked. North Carolina State was also not ranked at 21. Coastal Carolina drops 1-22 after winning. Penn State also drops 1 after winning. Louisiana stays put at 24, and Pittsburgh jumps in at 25 for being not ranked. the college football rankings, Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Ohio State, 5 is Cincinnati, 6 Michigan, 7 Michigan State, 8 Oklahoma.
So if one of the 2 through 4 teams loses and Cincinnati wins out, Cincinnati is going to get in.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's my takeaway at this point. Like if Oregon loses or if Ohio State loses or Alabama loses, Cincinnati's going to get in if they win out.
Yeah. I mean, Alabama still has some iffy games into the year.
Alabama has Auburn still. They have the
Ohio State
championship.
Has Purdue this week. They still have to play Michigan.
Yep.
And maybe Michigan State.
If I remember correctly, I think Ohio State finishes with Michigan State and Michigan. They go Purdue, Michigan State, Michigan, and then the Big Ten championship, which I don't know who that's going to be against. I guess like Wisconsin, maybe.
But all 3 ranked teams they play to finish the season.
Yeah, so they still have a gauntlet to get through. Oregon still has Washington State this week, which Oregon's always bound to lose like one of those really weird, brutal games like they did against Stanford. But they still have Washington State.
I thought that was their one.
Washington State, Utah, Oregon State, and then the Pac-12 championship. So, and then Alabama, like you said, they still have Auburn, and they still have to probably play Georgia in the SEC championship. So that'll be a big determining factor.
But I don't know. I don't know the weight of that if it comes down to Alabama's 2 and Georgia's 1, and Georgia beats them. If they drop, I mean, they might drop the 4 or something. But I don't know if that'll drop them all the way out.
I feel like the manner in which they lose is important there.
It also probably depends on if Oregon wins out and Ohio State wins out.
That's the big one. Like if Oregon
and then
Ohio
what the rest do. Like if Cincinnati wins out and wins their conference tournament.
Yeah, they just need Ohio State or Oregon to lose to get in, pretty much is kind of what it comes down to.
It's also, there's the college football playoffs, not one Alabama in it.
Yeah, they're going to try to get the only way Alabama misses is if they lose to one of the teams before the SEC championship, or if they lose like 40-0 to Georgia. I feel like you can't justify it then.
Their game against LSU Saturday though was
ugly.
It snapped their streak of scoring at least 30 points in a game.
Yeah, it was an ugly game, very ugly. I didn't know if they were going to be able to.
I think they had like 37 straight games of at least scoring 30 points, longest in FBS history.
They still just haven't found it yet, Alabama, consistently. So we'll see if they do. I don't know. But let's do the betting picks for the week. 12 and 10 for me last week.
Same. 185, 179.
I'm 185 and 173.
We got 6 more bets this week. Got some college basketball to throw at you guys.
Yep, we will be doing those at some point here today. So let's start in the golf, the Houston Open. Who are your picks for that?
To win, I have Scotty Scheffler at plus 1,600, Sung J M at plus 2,000, Tony Finau at plus 2,500, top 5 Brooks Koepka at plus 500, and top 10 is Matthew Wolff at plus 250.
Give me a couple players who have won recently and are playing well. Sam Burns plus 1,200 to win, Sung J M plus 2,000, and Maverick McNeely plus 4,000. And then finish top 5, give me Scotty Scheffler plus 350 and Cameron Smith to finish top 10 at plus 180. Let's do hockey and basketball. So we'll start in the NHL, which I think these picks are for tomorrow's games.
Correct.
Who you got?
Calgary minus 120 over Montreal, and the Islanders minus 135 over New Jersey.
I will take the Anaheim Ducks plus 135 at the Seattle Kraken and give me the Winnipeg Jets minus 165 home against the San Jose Sharks. NBA spreads for tonight. What are you going with?
I got the Suns minus 5 over Portland and the Pacers minus 3 over the Nuggets. No Jokic.
That's a big swing there for sure. And some other injuries. I think Michael Porter Jr. is hurt now for the Nuggets, shockingly. and still no Murray. So banged up Nuggets team. As I mentioned earlier, I am doing the combined 2-17 teams game. Give me the Pistons, Cade Cunningham, +3 at the Rockets. And then I will take the Bulls -3.5 home against the Mavericks. Where do you want to go next? Do you want to do the college basketball or the college football or the NFL?
College basketball.
All right, we'll do that. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 picks for each. What are you doing there?
I got Southern at Stephen F. Austin. I'm picking Stephen F. Austin. And then I got Vermont at Northern Iowa, taking Vermont.
Now, that'll be a good game. Vermont, Northern Iowa. Those are 2 teams that are pretty evenly matched.
Mm-hmm. What do you got Thursday?
My Thursday picks, I will take San Francisco over Prairie View A&M, and I will take Arizona State over UC Riverside, which that'll be a close game too, because UC Riverside is one of the pretty good teams out of the Big West, and Arizona State, a lot of new pieces there, so it's going to be hard for Bobby Hurley to kind of adjust to all that and all the different players they have. So I'll take Arizona State there. Friday, who you got?
I got a couple of local teams. I got Southern Illinois, Edwardsville at Chicago State, taking Chicago State. And Friday night, I got San Diego State at BYU, taking San Diego State.
All right, I will take the big one, which is Villanova, UCLA. Give me Villanova. Villanova looked very good yesterday. I think that they're going to be really hard to beat. And then I will take East Tennessee State to beat App State on Friday. Saturday.
I also think UCLA is underranked.
There's a lot of good players there. I mean, there's no doubt. And they're returning a lot of guys. They're not losing very much. They added a couple of key bench pieces. Juzang returns, Jaquez returns. So they're good. But I just think Villanova's stacked.
Yeah. And then Saturday, I'm starting off 5-1, Texas at Gonzaga, taking Gonzaga. But I really hope this is a good game. I mean, you got 5-1.
I think it will be. Chris Beard will have his guys ready to play. I'm also taking Gonzaga over Texas, by the way.
And my second game is Mercer at Winthrop. I'm taking Winthrop.
I like that pick. I'm a big fan of Winthrop every season. Loaded team every year. Sucks they didn't make the tournament last season, but
and Mercer's usually pretty good.
Yeah, Mercer, they're not bad. No, I mean the SoCon is a good conference overall. Wofford's there and East Tennessee State's there, and Mercer hung around with Arkansas last night. They lost by 13, but they were up 8 at the half. So Mercer's a pretty good team as well. I will take University of Illinois Chicago to kind of upset, not that big of an upset, but somewhat of an upset over Valpo. So I'll take that on Saturday. And then let's do the college football.
And I know you guys are thinking this is a lot of mid-major teams here.
Those are the early season matchups.
Yeah, all the other ones are like blowout games.
Yeah.
Where we're going to pick a ranked team from a major conference against a mid-major.
Just not a fair fight most of the time.
No, like as the season goes on, yeah, we'll have Illinois against Michigan and Duke against North Carolina, stuff like that.
Getting to the conferences, it's really going to heat up for sure. Do you want to start with the Power 5 conference games for college football?
Yeah.
Do that. ACC?
ACC, I got Miami at Florida State, taking Miami -2.5.
I will take Syracuse +3 at Louisville.
Oh, I thought you were going to take UConn.
I don't have the stones to do that.
Hey, it might be one for listeners. UConn +41 at Clemson.
And Clemson's pretty bad, so that is a big factor. Big 12.
West Virginia at Kansas State. I got Kansas State -6.5.
I will also take Kansas State plus the 6.5 or minus the 6.5 against West Virginia. On to the Big Ten.
Minnesota at Iowa, taking Iowa -5.5.
I will take Rutgers +7 at Indiana. Pac-12.
I looked at that game and I didn't know. I mean,
Rutgers is a show up one week, don't show up the next week team. They didn't show up last week. They showed up the week before. I think they show up this week.
After Indiana started out good, and then their quarterback got hurt, they've been back and forth.
Yeah, they don't look very good. I don't know. Rutgers can cover that.
Pac-12. Arizona State at Washington, taking Arizona State minus 5.5.
I am also taking that game, and I am also taking Arizona State minus 5.5 over Washington. SEC.
Arkansas at LSU, taking LSU plus 2.5. They looked pretty good last week against Alabama.
They got a lot of injuries, so that's kind of something I'm worried about. So I actually went the opposite way with this one. I'll take Arkansas minus 2.5 in that game. Now we get the primetime picks.
We got number 8, Oklahoma. These are the college football rankings. Number 8, Oklahoma at 13, Baylor. I didn't circle these yet, but I'm taking Oklahoma minus 5.5.
I'm also taking Oklahoma minus 5.5 in this game.
Game 2, 11, Texas A&M at Ole Miss, number 15, Ole Miss. Taking A&M minus 2.5.
I will go head-to-head, take Ole Miss plus 2.5 in that game.
And lastly, you have 16, NC State at 12, Wake Forest. I'm taking Wake Forest minus 2. I don't know if NC State can handle the shootout like North Carolina did.
I like Wake Forest minus 2 as well. Bounce back spot for them after losing last week. And now we do the NFL picks.
Yeah, Thursday night football. You got Baltimore at Miami.
This is a hard game to pick, no matter how bad Miami is.
The spread's minus 7.5 for the Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens.
I'm going to take the Dolphins. I think this is going to be a weird game, one of those weird kind of close games. I think the Ravens probably win, but I feel like the Dolphins can keep it within a touchdown. I don't care.
Another game where the Ravens are going to just wait till they score in the end of the third and fourth.
Hopefully that's how it goes.
I think, what is that? You think they wear the defense down, then they sit there and run a little hurry up?
Yeah, it was weird. That Vikings-Ravens game last week, Lamar was in the pocket way, way too often in the first half. He's just standing in the pocket on like every play, and it wasn't working at all.
Sunday night football, you got the Chiefs at Oakland, taking the Chiefs minus 2.5.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs as well, minus 2.5. I think the Chiefs are going to come out of it.
I can't believe it was only a 2.5 spread.
Chiefs have looked that bad.
On Monday Night Football, you get the Rams at the Niners. Rams are the favorite, minus 4. And I'm taking the Rams. A little bounce back. Von Miller should play.
I like the Rams as well. I think the Niners might be tanking, to be honest.
I mean, what you got? That front, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and is it Leonard Floyd?
Yeah. Pretty good. All right, Sunday picks. Who are your 5?
The Saints at the Titans. I'm taking the Titans minus 3. The Browns at New England. I'm taking the Browns plus 1.5. Lions at Steelers. I'm taking the Lions plus 9. And I also think this could be a trap game. The Lions could win this.
I can see that as well.
Vikings at the Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers minus 2.5. And the Eagles at Denver. Taking Denver minus 2.5.
We had a lot of the same ideas here this week. I will take the Bucks minus 9 at Washington. I will take the Falcons plus 8 at the Cowboys. I will take the Lions plus 9 at the Steelers. Chargers minus 2.5 against Minnesota. Titans minus 3 against the Saints. So those are my picks. And there you go. By the way, before we get out of here, of course, soccer picks.
Speaking of your soccer picks, did you see the PSG women's team?
Yeah, that was a weird story.
You had one girl hire a hitman to take out another teammate, and also
overplaying time.
Also, they're not just PSG teammates; they're also on the same international team.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a very weird thing. I think it can only happen in a sport like this. So that's about right. I really took it on the chin last week. 2-6, 0-4 in the Premier League. Just not a good week.
And you were on a high.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still 14-11 overall, which is not bad, but I definitely took it on the chin.
You were 12-5.
Yeah, no Premier League this week, so maybe I can.
A little more. Did you get the MLS back in?
I did not put the MLS in. I try to stay away from that as much as possible.
You did? Isn't that where you went 2-0?
I did, but that was kind of like luck. Like Columbus Crew was plus 425. They were a huge dog against DC United, still beat them, but maybe I'll go back to the well next week if I struggle this week. Europa League, I will take West Ham, who looks hot, -5 at, I guess it's Rapid Vienna or Rapid Vienna. I don't know. There's always these foreign pronunciations of things. I don't know. I kind of want to Americanize it, but I'll take West Ham there. And then Leverkusen -235 at Celtic. Easy win there for me, I think. League One, I'll take Monaco versus Lille +225 for Monaco. And then I will take PSG, the men's team, not the women's team, -525 at Nantes. Serie A, my other league that I'm going to, Juventus +140 at Lazio, and AC Milan +120 at Fiorentina. Quite a club there. And then I'm also going to take a couple World Cup qualifying CONCACAF matchups. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that, but I'm going to go with it. Canada -175 against Costa Rica, and I'm going to take a shot on the U.S. +200 against Mexico. So we'll see. Maybe I can bounce back.
No Tottenham? No Hotspurs?
Nope. I picked them last week, and they lost, so I don't trust them anymore.
Did you see his introduction, what he was wearing?
I did not see that, but I knew that they hired somebody.
Oh, when we're done recording, you got to look it up.
I will do that. All right, that'll do it for us. We'll be back next week for the 38th edition. More sports roll on, lots to cover next week, and we'll see you then.